Henry vs. Gordon. CGI versions only. So, Gordon vs. Henry has been the most debated and popular topic in the Thomas vs. Edits community, besides Thomas vs. Percy and Edward vs. James or any others. The most important and popular Gordon against my personal favorite Henry, both who has been done dirty since the later eras but are still beloved and respected by the fandom to this very day. Everyone, including me, have come to the same outcome. Gordon would win over Henry due to his superior feats of durability, attack potency, speed, and intelligence over Henry with high difficulty. But that is, of course, including all the materials from Railway Series to model to CGI, which is essentially a composite. But I would want to try something different, and I've been hearing this and thinking about this for a while. The claim that in one form only, that is the CGI variant of them only, that Henry would win over Gordon. TrainFan234 also claims this. Is that so? Though while Henry is my favorite, I am wise and humble not to make up stupid bullshit like using AI unlike a certain someone to justify a win. So the heaven official. So, could Henry win over Gordon in CGI forms only? To find out, this time we'll be going all out in fiction, scaling with CGI feats and only CGI showings. This time for this peculiar topic, from Nitrogen era to beyond, except Big World Big Adventure. So, a few rules to lay out. Number 1, I said, no railway series and model feeds to scale, CGI exclusively. Second, no real life basis stats. And third, I won't be adding or using too much of Big World Big Adventure's feat, as they get really ridiculous, and not to mention I'm not fully experienced with them enough. And number 4, no flanderization included. I'll be using them at their peaks, primes, and the absolute best. So no hypochondriac screaming Henry or the always grumpy jerk Gordon. So starting off with overall intelligence and mentalities, well, since flanderization is out, we actually have a much more competent and mature Henry, who at his best in season 18 to season 20 is confident in handling any types of work such as heavy goods train, and with tenacity and perseverance that could sort of match up with Edward. He even has the confidence to even get back at the teasing from his friends. That being said though, Gordon isn't too far behind, especially with most of his best feats being, ironically, from the Nitrogen era, where he is more of a big brother of the bunch, including towards Thomas. I mean, no kidding. In Hero of the Rail, he participated in helping Hero from Spencer, whether it be bringing parts for him or getting Spencer away from Thomas and Hero after a chase. Misty Island Rescue, a dog shit movie. He was willing to participate with Edward and James to find Thomas, even when he didn't want to work at Rift's garbage dump in all the indignity. He eventually got around to doing it when things got messy. The episode Snow Track has him again owning up to his foolish mistake and helping Thomas deliver firewood, and there are many more I could add in. Though the Brenner era did unfortunately reduce Gordon to just that damn singular trait that forever and ever is puke worthy. His nitrogen intelligence feats shouldn't be overlooked and can definitely complicate things for Henry. And although I don't use Big World Big Adventure scaling for this, from what I see, some tidbits of it, marvelous machinery, sees him trying to stop a runaway Kenji. Side note, if anyone has the feats from Big World Big Adventure for any characters, let me know. So, I'd say it's safe that Gordon could have overall just take intelligence, skills and knowledge, since Henry doesn't exactly show a lot. No thanks to that stinking hypochondriac side of him. Now, we move on to the physical parts, starting off with durability. This is a rather weird one, as both Henry and Gordon have shown some tidbits of bad anti-feats, such as Henry's rod breaking from a mere impact from a truck in season 14, and Gordon losing his buffer from a mere slam in a wagon, or him getting his boiler dented from a freaking rock flung from Paxton's train. Besides that, Henry still has been in much more deadly kinds of accident, such as getting knocked over by a boulder in season 19, and he still manages to move just fine. What? And when he collided into Hero's goods train at Vickers Downs in Journey Beyond Sodor. Gordon doesn't have a lot of good durability showings to compare to this. Speaking of which, throughout the CGI era, aside from smashing into the coal trucks in Snow Track, to my knowledge at least, Henry should take this category with some difficulties due to some inconsistency. But however, that is not all. In fact, one of Henry's biggest trump cards over Gordon here is his endurance. I kid you not, it is almost on par with Edward in the harshest time. Though there is no Super Rescue adaptation, there is Henry's hero. In that episode, Henry was stuffed up with bad colds and holded back against by the long line of steel girders and a broken hero at the front. But in spite of the odds, he manages to gather enough power to not only successfully push the entire train up the hill, but all the way to Brandon Docks. And this is despite Henry previously being worried about his health before and needing convincing from Hero. How the hell did he get the shorter end of the stick in the strength competition in the Great Race again? Okay, maybe not just endurance, but also strength and raw power too. As for me using CGI scaling only and nothing else, Gordon is sort of at a disadvantage. Yeah, but not to worry. Gordon still has speed and stamina. The Thomason, the Royal Engine, makes a Gordon Goes Foreign reference, which is likely canon, and still has Gordon going all the way to St. Pancras. I'm not sure about attack potency, but I am inclined to give Gordon this one due to his better speed and weight. Hex, on the other hand, is a toss-up, Henry has great endurance and raw power. Gordon still makes up for it with speed and stamina, and perhaps attack potency. But regardless of who gets Hex or not, I believe the claim that CGI Henry could beat Gordon CGI form 2 maybe isn't that accurate, or that accurate at all. To conclude, this CGI only matchup of I don't think Henry can beat Gordon, even in his CGI forms, only as, despite Henry clearly being physically stronger, Gordon still has the advantages in terms of speed, stamina, and attack potency. It doesn't help that Gordon has greater intelligence, if including the nitrogen era. Perhaps, I believe that Gordon having better IQ showings contributed to him winning. Yes, I know I previously said that IQ and skills aren't everything, but here, it is when it matters, especially when Gordon still has the attack potency and not to mention his own potential raw power of his own to hold against a personal favorite of mine who has been buffed to match or surpass this in terms of strength and endurance. Although I would dislike to say this, Henry loses to Gordon once again, even in CGI form. Gordon's IQ and perhaps his attack potency has turned the tide in his favor. Gordon should win with high, maybe extreme difficulty, as always. Henry's strength and endurance could prove a lot of trouble, but it's only delaying the inevitable, as, got, as Gordon can always find a way around that, and eventually get the better of Henry.